Hey YouTube, this is Dan from Programmer Basics, and I'm going to give you the first video on this channel, and that video is going to be a simple explanation and start to Visual Studio, a welcome to Visual Studio, if you will. Right, when you open up Visual Studio, this is what you should see. You'll see your start page, and that's pretty much all you'll need, or all you'll see from here. You've also got obviously your file and things all up here, but that's all that's all there. You can use it if you want, but they give you what you need here. First, you want to start your project. So you'll either want to start a new project, open a project you've had before, or connect to a Team Foundation server. You can also open up recent recent projects and open one of those from before, but for the purpose of this video we're going to open a brand new project. When opening a brand new project, you will get a few options. Down this side on the left you will get Visual Basic, Visual C#, Visual C++, and Visual F# as your main four, in my opinion, or at least from my very basic standpoint at this point. The tutorials I'm going to be doing will be mostly in Visual Basic and Visual C#, however some may come in Visual C++, and down in this sort of middle section you can see that you get lots of different options just for Visual Basic, and you'll get the same for Visual C#. We're going to stick to Visual Basic for this simple tutorial, and normally most of mine so far have been in Windows Form applications, whereas I do want to look through the rest of these and hopefully create some programs in those too and share those on here. Down here you can name your application, so you can name this whatever you like and it won't really matter. And in the location you can obviously send it, tell it where to save it. I normally save mine on the desktop if they're going to be temporary, or save them to my memory stick or hard drive if they're going to external hard drive if they're going to be used further than the once. The name, when I said it means nothing, I don't mean it literally means nothing, but in terms of what you want to call it, I think you can almost have any key. There might be a few limits to it, I'm not too sure, but we can just spam a load of keys for this because we don't need anything specific, and it will set your solution name for you with the name. So then you click OK and you get a really lag computer. Still trying to find a good piece of recording software. Hopefully this will do. I don't really want to have to re-record this video for the third time. Not that you will see this if I do have to. But here is your form. So you've got it all loaded up here. This is the form, the main form. This will just load up at first and nothing else will load up. Over on the right hand side you can see the Solution Explorer, where you will see the solution, the project, and the project's forms. Inside here you can add more projects, but I'll show you about that probably in a future video, and you can also add more forms, and I'll probably go through that in a new video as well in a future video. Here is your form, and you can actually rename your form from here, because form 1 is a bit default, so if you're making bigger programs you'll want to rename this, and my naming convention that I've been using is a 3-letter shorthand, FRM for form, and followed by what it's going to be used for with camel case. So let's say main form, or well, we don't need form again, so let's go just main base, just to show you what it looks like. That's the camel case. Then it'll ask you if it wants to rename everything else, and you will let it do that, and there you go, FRM main base. Now just beneath that you get all the properties. Here you can see the properties of FRM main base.vb, but we want the properties of the form, so we click on it. Now down here we can see we've got all of these different properties. Name, which is what we've just set, FRM main base, and down here text. To get them in this order, it usually is on this, but I'd switch it to alphabetical just because that's what I was taught to do, and I actually like it this way anyway. Here in the text we can change the text up here to whatever we wish, so we can say main form, and then main form goes up there. Main form and main base do not have to be the same. Main base is what you refer to it as in the code, and main form is what you might refer to it as a user. You'll say open up the main form even though it would be the first one. Open up the main form, and then they can open that up. But if you said open up the main base, they would have no idea what you're talking about, and neither do they need to. It's just a way that you, as a programmer, can name your things how you wish. So that's the properties there. They're just some of the simple properties that you'll need. Now you can add things like buttons, like I just did. I was kind of meant to explain that by clicking on it and then clicking on the form, like I did with the first button. You can also drag and get a bigger button, but we don't want that. So now you've got this button. We can go down here and use the same BTN, 3-letter shorthand, and then capital letter for whatever next, and we'll just call it BTN button, just because it's a button and that's what I can think of right now. I could have also named it anything I like. Let's say that would have been to add something to a list. We could have called it BTN add, and then in here we could write the word add, and then that's what the user will see, add. We can also add checkboxes, which are named with CHK and then whatever you wish. And you can also add, let's see what you might have to use. So labels, I label those LBL, and then whatever you would like. And you can also, for the fourth and final thing, let's say you want to add, I want to find something that, where is it? A text box, because who doesn't use text boxes? So there we go. And this one would be quite simple, TXT, and then box, why not? So you could have it as TXT box if you wished. Now, at the moment, this is just a plain form, and to save this, I go Control Shift S. So if I had any other forms, it would save all those. And as you can see up here, that's the save all. Oops, that's the save all, so it saves everything. Okay. Next, the form does nothing at this point, neither does it need to, because I'm just showing you parts of Visual Studio. I'm not showing you how to make a program as such. So I'm just going to show you that if you want to access the code, you can double click one of your properties, which it will create a private sub for it, or you can click this little down arrow and double click here, and that will also bring you up to the form. If you want to create a private sub for something, you just double click it, so private sub for the form, and it opens up this. And up here, you can see an identifier, and also at the end, you can see an identifier as to what the private sub is for. So this private sub is for FRM main base, so we know that's our main form because that's what we named it. And then underscore load, so I would assume, and I assume you would assume, a lot of assuming going on, that means the form, when the form loads, this code happens. Let's, for instance, I'm just going to put something in here now. Since I've already recorded this video once, I'm getting a bit bored of not actually doing any coding, so we'll do when the form loads, showing a message box saying hi. So we'll load that up. It's going to take a little while because I've got to record, and that actually came up on my other monitor, but here you can see it loads up a message box with the word hi, and you click OK, and then again on the other monitor, main form is open. So that's what that does. Now we can close that down and we can load back into the code, and we can go on to back into the visual part, or we can see the coding part. We can double click on all sorts of things for this. So for the button, it would be when the button is clicked, when the checkbox check has changed, so let's say I click on it once and then click on it again, it will run both times. When something is changed in the text box, the text is changed in the text box, and when a label is clicked. They're all the things that we can run. At the moment, if I leave this empty, nothing happens. It doesn't benefit from having a private sub. If it's got nothing in the private sub might as well not be there, and it's just going to be a nuisance in the way otherwise. There's no need for it to be there, basically. Can't believe this video has almost lasted 10 minutes already. Quickest 10 minutes of my life. So what else might you want to access? Let's say you didn't want to name your solution, your project something or other. You could go project properties, and something you can do is change the assembly name to whatever you wish. So project 1. However, what I have found issue with is changing the root namespace, so I'd leave that alone if I were you. You can change startup forms in here, you can change the icons in here, and you can also, something that will come in handy, is you can change when the form, when the program shuts down. let's say you have two forms, you might want to do it when you might want to do it so the first form closes and the second form opens, but then the whole program will shut down because it says when startup form closes, the program shuts down. So you just have to switch it to when the last form closes. But that can also have an issue when you have me.hide on one of your forms. So you hide the form, because then when the form is hidden, it's not closed, therefore the program stays open. Might understand that a bit more in the future, hopefully once I've got some more videos going and all out and rendered and such. So you'll have to bear with my computer speed during these tutorials, so sorry about that, but it's not the best computers, so I understand. I understand that. Right. So I think I've been over almost everything you might need to know to start off. So just when you're watching my videos, I will be using these 3-letter shorthands followed by a name. I will be using camel casing for the name, as you can see up here. And I will show you hopefully every step of what I do, and I should be able to explain everything I do. And that way you will learn exactly what I know, and I will refresh everything that I do know, so that then you can know it as well, and I will remember it more, because when you repeat things you remember them. And by this channel is just meant so that I can end up remembering this code. Anyway guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. So if you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike, and if you didn't like it, also leave a comment and let me know why, because obviously I want these videos to be good. They will be mostly a reference point to myself. If they don't get many views, then at least I've got them as a reference point for myself. But obviously I'd like to get some views, because if I can get views, the point of this channel is to back up my own learning and to hopefully form a community of people that can help me learn and that I can help learn, so that then we all end up very good at programming, or at least as good as we can all make each other. So that's sort of the point of this channel. Hopefully it will work. Who knows? Fingers crossed. This is how this is sort of the main things you might want to change in Visual Basic. So I hope you enjoyed this video. The last thing I'm going to quickly go over, or at least show you, is that you can publish your program to the desktop or wherever you wish and install it to your computer. But I'll probably leave that for a future video to show you what to do there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, and obviously subscribe so you can see future videos. Thanks for watching guys, and see you next time.